Hey guys, welcome back to my video. So in this video, I'm going to show my one of my game and that I played in a tournament last week. So is the tournament is National Interstate Chess Championship. It's a team event. Yeah. So without further ado, let's check out the game. By the way, all of my game, like all of my tournament, all of the tournament I played, like National Interstate Chess Championship, or the last video, National Youth Chess Championship, like all of the game is available on Lichess Study, so you can go check out. Like feel free to check out. So let's see the game. I'm the white pieces. I start the game with e4. My opponent plays c5, knight to f3, knight c6, d4 takes, knight f6, knight c3. And in this position, my opponent surprised me with the move queen to a5. It's a very weird move. Like usually you can play the classical variation, the Shevnikov variation, or like e6, the French Sicilian. Like like this is Taimanov something. I don't really know. But my opponent played the move queen to a5, which is weird. I played knight to b3, so he's threatening my pawn on e4. I play knight to b3. The queen has to go back. Yeah, so I just basically get a free tempo. I play bishop to g5 and e6, queen to d2. So I'm playing this like basically the same setup, like the English attack. So I'm not putting my bishop on e3 because I thought like bishop to g5 is more aggressive and doing more here, and then at some point prevent d5. And if h6, and like I can provoke h6 and create a hook here and try to attack. So yeah, I play queen to d2, bishop to b4, f3, h6, bishop to e3. So I create a hook here. I provoke a hook here. Um, my opponent played a6. Now I'm thinking d5 in the game, but I think I can simply castles. Like if bishop takes, queen takes. Like I think like if takes, queen takes, knight takes followed by knight b5. I think what's doing very well. So yeah, so I think d5 is not very good here. So my opponent played a6. I play a3. Bishop e7. I go castles. b5. Now in this position, I have a very strong move. Um, knight to d5. So the move is knight to d5. So this is a very typical and common sacrifice in the Sicilian defense, especially in Najdorf or the French Sicilian. Right, this French Sicilian. So the point being, after takes, we open up the e file. Now this position is even strong. It's even stronger because I have to move d6. The bishop has to move back to f8, and the e file is completely open and unstoppable. No one can block the e file, and the king is gonna be very, very dangerous here. Like rook e1, I believe black's just losing here. So if you can play knight d5 and then followed by d6, and the bishop have to move back, then we open up the e file. Like it is always a good move, I think. By the way, like you can see many of this, this sacrifice in the Witty Alien video. He played many Smith Mora, I think, against the Sicilian, and yeah, this always happened. Um, However, I missed it. I missed it, and I played the move Queen to f2. So because my opponent haven't castled, so usually what I do is h4, g4, g5. But in this situation, my opponent didn't castle, so like I thought, like is it too slow? My opponent will play like b4. Like seems like my opponent's gonna attack me first. So I'm trying to do something here. So I play queen to f2, trying to play bishop b6, and also I have some bishop c5. I'm trying to do some bishop c5 and then trying to make use of black weakness. Yeah, and like the dark square weakness. So my opponent played queen to c7. Now in this position, now I saw this move, knight to d5. However, in this position it doesn't work because takes, pawn takes. I can't play d6 because d6 is well protected. So yeah, so I didn't see a way to make this knight d5 work. So I decided to play bishop c5. Again, I wanted to play g4, but like b4 is a bit scary. Takes, bishop takes. You know, it's a bit scary. So I decided to play the move bishop to c5. If the trade, okay, the dark square is a bit weak and the attack is not very strong here, right? And if my opponent played with d6, which happened in the game, I'll just move back. And I block your bishop. b4 is not very... Yeah, b4 is like still b4 can happen, but the bishop, at least the bishop like can't join the attack at some point. Like yeah, the engine give bishop b6 is the best move after queen b7, knight to f5, knight to a5, just trying to trade some pieces here and slow down black attack. You know, yeah, and I think what have comfortable position here. But I didn't consider this. I mean, I did consider this, but I thought of the queen to b6. You know, I'm trying to keep pieces and trying to attack here. Yeah, like so. I play bishop e3. My opponent played bishop to d7. Now I play g4 because I have to do it anyway because I have no other useful moves. So I play g4. In this position, my opponent played a very weird move, which is castles. Now this move is very weird because I'm actually the move concerned me a lot is b4 or like rook b8, you know, something like that, just trying to attack. But I guess my opponent is trying to bring the last pieces, which is the rook, to join the attack with some rook c8 or rook b8, and after that, only after that, play b4, try to attack. However, because you have some weakness here, you have the hook on h6. So after you castles, I can now not only black can attack, now white can also attack with g5 or h4 g5. You know, and black king is in danger. So now suddenly it becomes opposite side castle attack. If my opponent don't castles, I think black is doing very well because I can't attack black king really because the center is close, and black can attack my queen side. You know, so it's hard to say like who will win here. You know, but my opponent just played castles. Now there's two move here, which is g5. Immediately open up the g file. So if you play g5, like basically you want to attack g7. If you play h4, the idea would be g5 takes, and you want to attack on h file. So that's the two different of this. That's the difference of these two moves, h4 or g5. I decided to play g5 because yeah, h4 is a good move, I think, but I am worried about some knight h7, let's say g5 h5, just trying to block the file here, and I didn't really see a way to break. Yeah, maybe I can play h5 first, then f4, then g5, but I think it's a bit too slow. So I decided to immediately play g5, takes, bishop takes. So I want to attack on this file. My opponent played b4, captures, knight captures. a5 is the best move here. Knight captures, and I play queen to h4, trying to pin this knight. a5, which is blunder. I go rook to g1. Right. So now the threat is bishop takes f6, and you can't move your knight because it's a pin. Yeah, and that is why I play queen h4. My opponent played queen to queen to d8. I'm sorry. So my opponent played queen to d8, trying to defend the f6 knight. However, in this position, I play a brilliant move. Rook takes d6. Sacrifice my rook. Of course, you can't take my rook because bishop takes f6 is a fork, and rook takes g7 is a checkmate, or your queen die. Well, actually, I think this checkmate is unstoppable because g6 queen h6. Sorry, g6 queen h8. Yeah. So I think white is completely winning. So my opponent played a4. I play knight to c5. I have two moves here. First one is e5, trying to attack this knight. After ab3, bishop takes f6. I can't take with the pawn, I think, because like rook a1 check is a bit scary. So I have to play bishop takes f6. Because this is a threat. You know, I open up the rook, the file for the rook. Rook takes g7 is huge threats. But I think my opponent has some counterplay with rook a1. I have king d2. King d2 is a move I miss actually. I'm thinking knight b1. And after bishop takes f6, pawn takes g6. I have a free knight here, but like b takes c2, queen c7, bishop a4, and this is a bit scary. I mean, you know, it's a bit scary. Also, there's some knight a2 or some b takes c2 stuff. Of course, now it doesn't work, but it's a bit scary. However, king d2 and black have just nothing. There's no check here, you know. Yeah, and after takes g6, and I win your knight here. So I always miss some like some king move idea. You know, the last game also like same thing happened last game. Like I'm worried about knights. The last game, my last video, I'm worried about some knight c4, queen b4, queen takes b2, but I can simply play rook d3, king b1. You know, and there's nothing here. So, but I'm worried about that. So like probably that's one of my weaknesses. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about my last game. Okay, that I covered in my previous video. Right, so I decided to play knight c5, which is also winning, and knight c5 is also a very strong move because I make a threat. My opponent played a3 because I mean basically black is really like devastating because the attack is too strong here. Black have no attack. There's only two pieces attacking here, but however white has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces attacking the king. My opponent play a3, I just takes, and knight takes d7, rook takes c3, and I play bishop takes f6, rook takes c2. So the idea is of rook takes c3 is my opponent want to take on c2 and then play rook c1. If I takes, he will try to play queen c7, followed by queen c2 or queen takes d6 with check, something like that. So knight takes f6. I think it doesn't work because after bishop takes. Oh, maybe it worked. Like I have to play bishop takes here, and after rook takes, king b1 and king b2 here. Like wow. Yeah, and after rook c2, king b3. Rook takes d8 doesn't work because rook takes c2. If king go to d1, rook takes d8 will be almost checkmate after king e1, bishop c3, bishop d2 takes. I mean, maybe I'm even losing. If king b1, at least black got a draw with rook b2, rook a2, rook b2, rook c2. You know, so I play bishop takes f6. Oh, by the way, after knight takes d7, neither queen nor the knight can't take my knight because if knight takes, bishop takes d7. If queen takes, it's just a free queen. So it's actually a free bishop. And now my knight is making a huge threat here. So rook takes c3. I mean, basically white is just completely winning. Rook takes c2, king d1. Rook c1, I play king to d2 just to prevent any complication. So king to d2, rook c2, king e3, rook c3, and in this position I have bishop to d3, simply blocking the rook, and there's no check. If knight takes d3, rook takes g7, rook takes d3, just rook takes d3, and again this is again a threat. But I decided to play a queen sacrifice. Bishop takes c3. Sacrifice my queen. My opponent gave a useless check on c2. I play king to d2. Now my opponent takes. Now the point being, after bishop takes the queen, rook takes g7, king h8, rook takes f7, king g8, and rook takes f8, forking the king and the queen. And the rook is protected by my knight, and I'm just up too many material. So it was in this position, my opponent resigned the game. So I think this is a really brilliant game. You know, like just just where it's like a Mikhail Tal game. You know, it's like a Mikhail Tal game. So yeah, but again, I did not win this game because of some some brilliant play or like brilliant understanding. I mean, I win this game because of my opponent mistake. Like castles, I think castle is the huge mistake here. Allowed my attack here, but I mean, yeah, a win is a win. So yeah. Anyway, it's a good game. So I think this is all for today's video. So I will show more game in the next few videos. So stay tuned, and yeah, bye.